So I thought of why not we just segment the different journey for
Sure.
most of the women's. So let's say we have level one, a lot of startup ladies, right? They just get started, right? And then level two is they are some women, the coaches, experts. They already have 4-5 figures month, and they are having a momentum.
Right.
And then the third level is they already 6-figure and beyond, maybe a 7 figures. And
Right.
so can you teach us that in these 3 different levels and in the business that
Right.
what they need to pay attention to and
Right.
what they should avoid?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're starting out, the first thing that I usually recommend to clients that are really starting out, we talk about how they plan to fund their company, right? So if they're not going for angel investment or VC, they still have to figure out how they're going to live as they're building this company. And so we talk about, are they going to cash out a 401k or take from their household savings to fund this, to start the company? And then we talk about how long that cash is going to last, which is their runway. Meaning, if I am doing lots of free tools to get started, but eventually I have to start purchasing it, if I put $100,000, we'll just say, into just for the business, then we have to be very intentional about what we're spending the money on to generate sales, right? Because really, when you're in startup mode, you want to watch your cash flow, you want to watch your runway, but you have to be focused on getting leads and closing sales. That's really the whole life and breath of a startup, is making sure that if you're developing a new concept or product, that your MVP is ready to go, that you have proof of, and you keep iterating, because what you think might be happening is not the data that you're getting back from customers and clients as you're implementing your product or service. But really paying attention to cash flow, how long things are going to last, then, how soon is it going to take you to make the first dollars of revenue, how long it's going to take you to get to break even, which means that you really do have to hire. I always recommend hiring a bookkeeper, even if it's for a couple of hours a month, so that you know where the money is going, how long of your runway you have, so that you're not surprised that you now have to have either go back to your savings, or if you're married, to have the second conversation with your spouse about, oh, hey, I know I said I was only going to take this much, but now I have to take more. I've had clients have those conversations, but they were prepared in the first conversation to say, here's what we're thinking. And then every month they would have a meeting with their spouse of, here's how the business is going, and be able to plot, even if they're not generating any revenue, or maybe not even spending a whole lot of cash in the beginning, but just to let your husband know, or your business partner. Because if you're a business partner, again, it's have regular meetings around where cash flow is, where the state of the product is, how we're doing in lead generation. And so for startups, that's really where the energy and focus needs to be.
Yes, that's perfect. And please go on.
Yeah. And so then as you start to get momentum and you're getting to 4 and 5 figures, meaning that you know what it's costing you to run your business, you know what it costs you to generate leads, you also have to make sure that you now, as the owner, are actually putting together a salary. One of the things that I have all my clients do, especially in the early stages as they're gaining momentum, is we put together a really loose and fast budget, so to speak, but there's a line item that says owner salary, so that they know that at some point in time, they have to get paid. This is not always about reinvesting in the business, because if you're single, unless you know that you have a year's worth of living expenses saved and you can focus on the business, you have to make sure at some point in time, the business is now paying you, so that you can make sure that you're not worried about things at home. We also need to talk about team, because as you're gaining momentum, you can't be doing everything. We as women are very resourceful, and we think that we should just learn it and do it. I'm a student because I love DIY stuff, until I realized, oh, yeah, my brain is full. I don't want to learn that. So who can I get? And what I usually recommend is we start out with freelancers or independent contractors, because if you have a month or a quarter that's a little low on revenue, you can cut back their hours and not feel guilty, right? Because they're used to having their hours change from month to month. It allows you also to practice having those conversations around, What's the work going to look like? When are they going to deliver it? How are you going to pay? Those kind of things. Because as you get to the 7-figure mark, you have to have employees. And I'm all for having freelancers and independent contractors, but for you to have a sustainable company when you get to 7 figures and beyond, you really have to have a core team of employees that understand your vision, see their place in contribution to that vision, are excited about what they can do for the company, and they're not distracted by other client projects. That's the difference. And it also changes your perspective as an owner to go from, oh, I have a bunch of freelancers, and yes, this is my team, but at any point in time, I can cut the hours back, to I have to meet payroll. And one of the things that I recommend as you're growing in the 5 figures, getting to 7 figures and 8 figures, is to have a talent strategy. And I've done this with a lot of startups I have worked with. We don't have, we have the owner. We don't even have employee one, but we develop a philosophy of, here's what the talent strategy looks like. These are the particular roles that we need to hire. So we're going to build out roles and competencies, but we know where we're going to hire. And one of the things that most of our clients do is talk about being able to hire and not having to lay off. So the whole goal is to get to where we may not be hiring super fast and ahead of revenue, but what we want to do is to be able to make sure that people have stable income going forward if we're going to hire employees.
Guys, I hope you are taking a lot of notes, and if you're in a position like me, often listen to podcasts in the gym, then you probably have to go back to this episode, right? In short amount of couple of minutes, basically Audrey tell you from starting up all the way to 8 figures, okay? What you need to be doing when you come to finance, right? And if you like this video and this episode, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share with others, so more crisis-centered leaders have the opportunity to consume this type of valuable content. Before I go, I just want to remind you that you can click on the screen to go to the next business growth videos, and I will see you in the next episode.